The next method we are going to discuss to solve a network theorem is Maxwell's loop current method. By solving the Maxwell's loop current method, we get number of independent equations to represent each loops, and from this, by the application of solving simultaneous equation using Cramer's rule, we can find the solutions and find out the current components also. So, in this method also we are utilizing the Kirchhoff law method. Okay, so Kirchhoff voltage law is applying here. Before that, we have to note some important notes about this method, that is mesh or loop currents are utilized in this or selecting in this instead of using branch currents. And the next one, number of loop current equations that we obtain will be equal to number of independent loops present in this in the corresponding network. And the current in an independent loop is continuous in that loop, so it doesn't need to be divide the current at any junction. Remember that it has been different from the previous method. Okay, here the current is independent, in an independent loop is continuous and doesn't need to divide at any of the junction. So in this loop the current is I1, in this loop the current is I2, and at this junction we are not dividing as I1 minus I2 and so on, etc. Okay. In the previous method, we have divided the current from every junction. And this method is suitable for the circuit having voltage sources. So, by applicable, we all remember these points when we are dealing with the Maxwell's loop current method. Now, we have considered such a network here. In this, there are three EMF sources, E1, E2, E3. E1, E2, E3 are three EMF sources we are connected in this network, and R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5 are 5 resistances in this circuit. So, this is an independent loop and this is an independent loop and this is an independent loop. So, in this network currently 3 independent loops are present, and also so we had to derive 3 independent current equations, that is number of loop current equation equal to number of independent loops. So we had to derive 3 independent loop current equations from this. Okay, and the current passing through the loop 1 is I1, current passing through the loop 2 is I2, and loop 3 is I3 respectively. We have already represented that current in each independent loop is continuous in that corresponding loop and will not be divided at any junction. So I1 loop 1, I2 loop 2 and I3 loop 3. Okay, now we can derive the loop current equations from this. Now apply the Kirchhoff voltage law to each independent loop. First we have to consider the loop 1. That is, we have to remember the sign convention we have using when we apply the Kirchhoff voltage law. Okay, so in this we have to the current is in this clockwise direction. We have considered 3 loops, the current I1, I2, I3 in clockwise direction. So when we consider the loop 1, we are considering the same direction of current. So we have minus I1 into R1, and in this branch there is I1, and in this direction there is I2. So across the resistance R4 there is a component I1 and there is a component I2. Okay, look at this figure. So R4 having the current component I1 minus I2. Here R4 having I1 opposite direction I2, so I1 minus I2. When we consider the first loop, that is minus of I1 minus I2 into R4, and here plus E1 equal to 0, that is minus 2 plus rising potential plus E1 equal to 0, that is minus I1 R1 minus I1 R4 plus I2 R4 plus E1 equal to 0. That's equal to I1 into, multiplying this equation with the negative, I1 into R1 plus R4 minus I2 R4 equal to E1. Okay, this is the equation number 1. Now we can apply the Kirchhoff voltage law to loop 2, that is this loop. when we consider from this, see, here also we are considering the same direction of current as the loop path, that is minus of I2 into R2, minus of I2 into R2 plus E2, that is negative to positive, so rising potential, plus E2, and here the loop is in this direction we are coming, that is when we here in case of R5 there is I2 in this direction and I3 in the opposite direction. I3 is coming in this clockwise direction. So in this loop, when we consider the loop 2, there is I2 minus I3, and then minus of I2 minus I3 into R5, and in this direction there is an I2 and in the opposite direction there is an I1. So when we consider the loop 2, here the current component across the R4 will be minus of I2 minus I1 into R4 equal to 0. Remember, there are two contributions of current or two combinations of current. In this branch, I2 is minus by I3, where I3 is opposite to I2. And in this branch, I2 minus of I1. Okay, so minus I2 R2 minus I2 R5 plus I3 R5 minus I2 R4 plus I1 R4 plus E2 equal to 0. So I1 into R4 minus I2 into R2 plus R4 plus R5 plus I3 R5. Okay, I1 R4, I2 minus I2 into R2 plus R4 plus R5 plus I3 into R5 is equal to minus of E2. What this minus sign? We can give here a negative sign, minus I1 R4 plus I2 into R2 plus R4 plus R5 minus I3 R5 is equal to E2, and give it as equation number 2. Apply the Kirchhoff voltage law to loop 3. Here minus I3 into R3 and plus E3, and here we know in case of loop 3, in this branch we can minus from I3 minus I2. That is, here the main current through the R5 is I3 and there is sharing by I2. So I3 minus I2. So minus of I3 minus I2 into R5 equal to 0. So that is equal to minus I3 R3 minus I3 R5 plus I2 R5 plus E3 equal to 0. As in the previous case, we have to rearrange it as minus I2 R5 plus I3 into R3 plus R5 equal to E3. That is equation number 3. Using Maxwell's loop current method, there are 3 independent loops in the network we have considered. So we have derived 3 loop current equations like this. Now we can write it in the matrix form, that is R1 plus R4 and R2, minus R4, 0. And the next one, minus R4, R2 plus R4 plus R5, and here minus R5, and here minus R5, R3 plus, here it is 0, I1 component is 0, and the remaining minus R5, and here R3 plus R5. Here the independent terms are I1, I2, I3. I1, I2, I3 is equal to E1, E2, E3. So, by knowing the method how to select the each and every components of this matrix, we can easily solve this type of loops easily using the simultaneous solving equation or application of Cramer's rule. So before that, you just remember this matrix representation R11, R12, R13, R21, R22, R23, R31, R32, R33. This combination of R1 plus R4 minus R4 and R2 plus R4 plus R5 etc. we had derived from this particular type of loop. And if you are studying that how to get the each and every component of this type of a matrix from a Maxwell's loop current method, we can easily solve such type of independent loops and by finding out the independent loop current equations by the same method. Okay. So you just study this. Look at this equation now. Now no need of this loop current equation. We need only this matrix representation now. So you look at the R11. R11 is equal to R1 plus R4. That is the resultant sum of the resistances which the loop 1 have. Similarly, you look at the R22. This is the R22 component. R22 is equal to R2 plus R4 plus R5. Look at the circuit. R2 plus R4 plus R5. That is the resultant resistances in that loop. R2 plus R4 plus R5. Similarly, R3 plus R5 is R33. That is the diagonal components we have derived as resultant sum of R3 plus R5. Look at here. R3 plus R5. Okay. So, in such a method for solving using Maxwell's loop current method, we can find out the diagonal elements of this matrix representation easily by getting the resultant resistances in each loop. That is the first diagonal element R11 is equal to R1 plus R4 and R22 is equal to R2 plus R4 plus R5. R33 is equal to R3 plus R5. Okay. Now look at the other elements. R12. R12 that is minus R4. R12 is equal to minus R4. Minus R4, R12 means the resistance shared by the first and second loop. That is R12. Resistance shared by the first and second loop. That is R4. So, R4 and there will be a negative sign also. And the resistance shared by the second and one loop. R12 is equal to R21. That's also R1. So, R12 is equal to R21 is equal to minus of R4. There will be a negative sign also. Similarly, you find out R13 is equal to the resistance sharing by second and third loop, first and third loop are nothing here. If there is some connection like this, there will be some complication, some interconnection between 3 and 1. Here nothing, so 0. So R32 is equal to R23 is equal to. R23 is equal to R5, that is minus of R5. We have to consider it as a negative of the resistance shared by these two independent loops. Okay, so that will be same. So look at this figure. Here the diagonal elements represent the each loop consists of the resultant sum of the resistances, and the all other symmetric elements represent the resistances, negative of the resistance shared by those two corresponding loops. Here is 0. There are no resistances are shared by that loops or interconnected through that loops. Okay, so hope you understand this resistant elements which you can easily find out using the Maxwell's loop current method. So by getting the voltages from the figure for a particular solution, we will be available with the values of E1, E2 and E3, and also the resistances values will be represented in the figure given for us. So we can easily find out the I1, I2 and I3, which are the independent currents passing through each separate independent loops. This is the Maxwell's loop current method. By getting this matrix and also E1, E2, E3, we can simply find out using the Cramer's rule or simultaneous solution for the equations method. So we can go through another example, and this method can be extended up to the n number of independent loops like this. And also remember one thing, the diagonal elements will be the resultant sum of self resistances in each loop, and also the symmetric elements will be the resistance negative of the common resistances to the corresponding loops. Okay, and also in our example there are only one EMF source for each independent loop. There may be more than one EMF loop, so E1, E2, E3 to En may be representing the resultant sum of EMF sources or EMF available to each independent loop. That's the theory about the Maxwell's loop current method. Now we can go to an example. So dears, we can find out a solution for this problem using Maxwell's loop current method, and one more question, determine to current supplied by each batteries. There are 5 batteries in the circuit, B1, B2, B3, B4 and B5. You have to find out the current supplied by each batteries also. So from the loop 1, this is the loop 1, the I1 is the current, and this is the loop 2, I2 is the current, loop 3, I3 is the current. So we have to derive 3 loop current equations, that is a 3 by 3 matrix is to be solved by this. So from this, the first loop, we know the diagonal element of a matrix will be the sum of the resistances. So this will be 5 plus 3, and the R1, 2, that's equal to minus of 3, and R31, 1 and 3 having no common components. And also I1, I2, I3, the net resultant also can be written E1 here. In this direction, that is a positive to negative direction, that is minus 5 plus 20. Minus 5 plus 20. Okay. So now consider the second loop. Here the first component is R21. The first component here is R21. What is R21? R21 is the common element for second and first loop. That is R21 is equal to negative of common element, that is minus 3. Then the resultant sum 4 plus 2 plus 3. 4 plus 2 plus 3. And here the common element is minus of 2. And the resultant sum of batteries, that is from this direction plus 5, and here also, here the voltage given in the question is 5 volt. So 5 plus 5, and here also in the rising potential, so 5. Now here the loop 3 and 2 having the common element minus of 2. Okay, and the here we will be having R31. R1 and 3 will not be having any common element, so it is 0. And R32 it is minus of 2. And here the resultant sum, that is 8 plus 2. 8 plus 2. And the resultant EMF in this direction, that is positive to negative, so minus 30, and positive to negative minus 5. So the matrix will be 8, minus 3, 0, minus 3, 6 plus 3, 9, minus 2, 0, minus 2, 10, I1, I2, I3 equal to 15, minus 35. As we know, by getting such a matrix method, we can easily solve this determinant using Cramer's rule. Okay, and easily find out the I1, I2, I3. That is, I will say del is equal to determinant 8 minus 3, 0, minus 3, 9, minus 2, 0, minus 2, 10. And also del 1 is equal to, replacing with this 15, 15 minus 35 and minus 3, 9, 2 and also 0 minus 2, 10. Similarly, del 2 and del 3. By getting the del 1, del 2, del 3 and delta, we can find out I1 is equal to del 1 by delta and I2 is equal to del 2 by delta. I3 is equal to del 3 by delta. Oh, once more I am repeating. The del 2 will be obtained by replacing the del using 15, 15, 35 which is the RHS. Using the second column, and del 3 is obtained by replacing with this using the third column. Okay, after that we get the I1, I2 and I3 by calculating from this matrix. So, I am not calculating the practical values from this problem, you just do it. Now, by knowing I1, I2, I3, we have the second question to determine the current supplied by each batteries, that is V1 to V5. So, look at this figure. Here we have V1 is equal to the current passing through V1 is I1 only. So, V1 is equal to I1 itself. And V2 is equal to I2 and I1. So, I2 minus I1. Similarly, in case of V3, I3 minus I2. Similar, and also V4 and V5 only the V4 having the current I2 only and V5 having the current I3 only. So, these are the answers for the second question. So, when you got the values of I1, I2, I3, you just substitute here and obtain the values of current supplied by the batteries V1 to V5. So, in this way, such a complicated circuits can be easily solved using the Maxwell's loop current method. Thank you. I will show you one more example. Consider this loop. There are 3 independent loops, 1, 2, 3. And the current passing I1, I2, I3. And now notice that only the available EMF source is for the loop 1 only. So, I am going to solve the matrix for this. That is I1, I2, I3 is equal to the resultant EMF for the first loop is 5 and the other is 0, 0. In the first loop, you know, when we go like this, it is negative to positive. So, rising potential 5. And the first loop, this is the R11 component, which is the resultant sum of resistances offered for the first loop. That is 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 3, 2, 6. And the next is 1, 2 common, that is minus 3. Minus 3. And the next is 1, 3 common, that is minus 2. 1 and 3 common, minus of common resistance. And here R21. R21 is minus 3. Minus 3. And here R22, that is the total resistances available for the self resistances of loop 2. 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. Okay. Then the common resistance with the R23. R23 is this 2 and 3. That is minus of 1. Okay. Hope you got the idea of considering this matrix from the loop. And the next one is R31. R31 is minus of 2. And also R32. You just write the component form and then it will be easy more. Then R32, that is R32, that is minus of 1. Minus of 1. And the next is the common resistance to loop 3. Self resistance. 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. So, and also remember one thing, these components will be same, that is it will be symmetric, and we know R12 is equal to R21 and R13 is equal to R31, R23 is equal to R32. So when you got one, you can write the next one. Okay. So by getting this matrix method, we can simply analyze the current components I1, I2, I3 which are passing through the 3 loops independently. So, hope you understand the method easily in the Maxwell's loop current. Now you can solve many of the network like this Maxwell's loop current method. Do more problems on this section also. Thank you.